Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first battle stream for Total War Saga Troy. I'm hearing myself in my head, and it's a little bit weird, so I'm going to adjust my headset a little bit. My name is Blondie. I am a content producer here at Creative Assembly, and with me, joining me from over 1,000 miles away, I've got Milcho. Hey, Milcho.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Working from home like everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. We're a little bit late today because I had to get things set up so that we could have this properly set up, so that everyone will be able to fully appreciate what a great game this is. I want to make sure to um, tell everyone that a Total War Saga Troy will be free for the first 24 hours after launch on the Epic Game Store. So hopefully all of y'all will be redeeming that and really enjoying the game. Let me just take a drink. It's very hot in. How's the weather over in Bulgaria today?
Oh, it's starting to get better though. It used to be quite rainy the last few days. It's not as hot as it is in England.
Oh my God, it's so hot. It is crazy. All right, so I know that people are probably wondering what we're doing today. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna play some battles. We're gonna answer some questions from chat, and then we're just gonna have a good time. I've set up an Achilles versus Hector battle to make sure that we can go through some of the things that we changed since you last saw the game, and then also we can properly explain how the game works. I just noticed that I didn't actually put Hector in the game, so before I flip over to Hector or to the game, I will make sure that it is a proper army setup here, so that we have Achilles fighting Hector. I'm going to, at least as a start, take control of Achilles, and then maybe we'll switch over, we'll flip, and I will control Hector. So, Milcho, what do you do at Creative Assembly, and what is your role on Troy? What do you do?
Well, I'm one of the senior designers for Total War Troy, and I specialize on battles and everything that is related to battles, even some of the campaign stuff that leads to there. So yeah, and I've been working on Troy since the beginning, so I
Fantastic.
hope you enjoy what you see.
So you are probably one of the best people to talk about the battles, really. Would you say that? One of the
Yeah,
best
I could say
in the
that,
world.
and for all the different the changes that we made to the battles for Troy and so on.
Yeah,
So I would be happy to answer all the questions that come up and that I can.
fantastic. Let me see here. Just want to make sure that we get audio from the game. Ba-ba-bum. I have no idea if we do. Let's see. I don't think so. So, as you can see, we've got an army set up here. Something that is new in the game right now, that we've changed since the last preview build when we got present influencers to take a look at the game, are these icons. They're a slightly different shape now. Milcho, what's that all about?
Well, since we did a lot of changes to the way infantry versus infantry combat is, and the weight classes of different infantry types are now much more important, we made sure that the players can easily see the differences in weight classes for different units. So we've made those different weight classes be represented by different shapes in their icons. So for example, a unit with a circle icon means that this is a light infantry unit, whereas a unit with a rectangle is a medium infantry unit, and a unit with a hexagon is a heavy unit. So as you can see here, most of the archers in the front line are light units, as it's normal for them, but some of the archer units might as well be heavy or medium in this case. Same goes for all the other units that are available on the battlefield. Only the heroes have their own unique icons, so they don't follow this whole think about light, medium, and heavy infantry. But yes, we got a lot of feedback that people were noticing that there were quite a lot of differences between the unit types now, but it was a bit hard for them to distinguish them quickly on the battlefield. So we made sure we include those changes here so that you can see the differences between different weight classes much easier.
Fantastic. All right, so unfortunately, I'm having some issues with the sound. I will make sure that for next week's stream, where we're going to do another battle, another epic matchup, we will have proper audio set up for everything. I will do that as soon as this stream is over. So sorry about that, guys. Things are weird when everyone is working from home. So this is a battle here. We are set up on this side here. We've got Hector somewhere here on the other side. We don't know where. Got this hill here, which is going to obstruct us a little bit. And we also got a new terrain type down here. Milcho, what am I looking at here?
Yeah, so this is one of the new terrain types that we've added to Total War Troy. This is the mud terrain type. It affects different types of units in a different way. It will greatly decrease the movement speed and the fighting capabilities of heavy units, but we will have almost no effect on light units. So this is just one of the examples that you can see about how different infantry type units can behave on the battle map depending on terrain and so on. So yeah, this terrain affects different units in different ways.
Fantastic. Give me just one moment before we start.
Yeah, I suggest trying to use it against Hector as much as you can, because his roster is usually focused a lot on heavy units, and if you manage to get them into the mud and stick them there so they can't really fight too well, it will be to a huge advantage to you.
Fantastic. Okay. Oops, that's the wrong keyboard. Cool. So there we go. Had to adjust my mouse settings a little bit. So we want to make sure to take this mud here to our best advantage, as you said. We're probably going to want our chariots to try and come around this end, try and pick up their ranged units. They might be hiding in this tall grass here. Now, what is tall grass, Milcho?
Well, tall grass is another different terrain type that we've added to Total War Troy. It allows usually light units to hide inside it so that they cannot be spotted by the enemy. And this allows for more tactical options of doing ambushes and so on if you have the right types of units for it.
Fantastic. All right, I'm just setting up my units here. So I want to try and take the Thessalian Marines, these Aeginian runners, especially these guys, because you can see here with these pinkish bar that they have a ranged weapon, a special missile weapon, so they can do some damage before they get into melee range. Then we'll keep our archers in the back, probably around here, to take advantage of this mud. And we'll also have our Aeginian javelin men there. And of course we have the man himself, Achilles, who today will be killing Hector. I'm playing this battle on hard difficulty, so if I lose, it's because I'm playing on hard. It's not because I'm bad, I promise. No, it's also because I'm bad. But hey, who knows? Alright, I know that some people want us to start. Should we start?
Yeah, let's go ahead and give it a start.
Start battle. Alright, so here he is. Oh my god, he's all over on this side. So we're gonna try and arrange a shell.
He's probably going to try and capture the hill here, because it does give advantages as well. Being on a higher ground increases the attack of your units, and it makes ranged units be much better at what they do. So preventing him from doing that might be a smart idea.
Well, r/prequel memes knows all about the high ground. Alright, so I'm gonna try and run these guys through here. So we got Hector coming in right from the start. Um, right here. Let's see if we can do some damage to him before we send in Achilles, who is not having a great time right now. We'll send in these guys over here. They didn't really come for us on the mud side, so I'll take advantage of that and send myself through here because my ranged units are gonna be fine. And then I will take my my chariots, and they will come in from the back. There we go. We have Achilles here. You know what? Let's send them in, and let's do Blood of Heracles, which will give us some rage. What is rage?
This will give him rage. This will give him rage to use his other abilities. So rage is a new mechanic that we've added to heroes. As they fight in the battles, they will accumulate rage, and rage will allow them to use more of their battle abilities. So you can't really use most of the abilities unless you have enough rage for that.
Fantastic. Yeah. So we can see here we've now built up a bunch of rage.
Yeah, so some of your abilities are now available
Yeah.
and can be utilized.
So I'm gonna do a cleave here. We can see that Achilles is currently winning. Hector, of course, having some of the most armored units available to him in the game. Also has a ton of armor himself and some healing abilities available to him, which will be a thorn in our sides if we let him use them. There are some things we can do about that. For example, if I do a divine challenge now, I will challenge him to a duel, which will force him to fight me, and he can't actually use any abilities. So we can see here now, unit that is in a challenge, I can't use any abilities, neither can he. And we are the superior
this is
fighter here.
a new ability that we have. I have to make sure that this is not like the dual mechanic in Three Kingdoms. This is just a type of ability that only some heroes have. It basically disables enemy heroes and makes them fight the hero that is issuing the challenge for on some seconds. I think it was about 30 seconds or so. But it can be quite powerful when it's utilized at the right moment.
Indeed. So, Achilles here, he has 7 seconds left on his Divine Challenge. He is currently winning against Hector. We're going to try and utilize our...
you do need to send some support for him because
absolutely.
he is really surrounded by a lot of units there.
So I'm gonna try and take him out of there. Oops, that was the wrong ability. I just sent him to be Berserk. Which is not great right now.
Not the smartest idea at the moment.
we might lose this battle, and that just means we get to do another one. That's, you know, it's great news for the people watching. So let's see. Yep. So definitely made a mistake of not giving him enough of a support here. Let's see what we can do. Yep, so Achilles is gone. We're going to lose this battle. That's fine. We're going to rematch. The good thing about Total War Troy is that it has a solid rematch system. If we lose, we can just click rematch and we can try again. It's not a big deal.
Okay, for the next match, you need to make sure that you're utilizing the Thessalians much more, because in Troy, being flanked is much more important than it is in other Total War games. And the Thessalians can have some really huge impact on the battle when they can do a proper charge. Indeed. And Achilles' roster is one of the more difficult ones to play, where most of your units are really offensive. They don't have too much defense skill or armor, but they are really fast and can do a lot of damage. But you really need to utilize them correctly and make sure that they are coming at the enemies from different angles and so on, so that their damage potential can be at the max. And Hector's roster is one of the most defensive ones in the game, so he always has a lot of very tough, heavy units. And you always need to figure out a way of how to deal with them, because of just purely how much armor and how tough they are. You
Mm.
have to know that your units should be much faster than
Yeah.
Hector's, especially when you look at the Aeginians and so on. They have almost twice as much speed as some of Hector's heavy units. So doing a lot of harassing and hit and run tactics might be quite useful
Mm.
in here.
Yeah. All right. So let's rematch this. Let's rematch. Boo. Milcha, don't tell them. I lost on purpose so we could do several battles. Maybe, or maybe I didn't. Who knows? All right, so let's look over our side of the battlefield and not just rush into it this time. So we have this little choke point here that if we had better defense, we could probably make use of. So this time, this hill is obviously going to be very important. We saw that when Hector took it last time. I'm still gonna put my... Actually, I'm gonna put my chariots, still around this here. So we can send them around the back. But we're gonna have our Myrmidon swordmen, our spearfighting Myrmidons. They're gonna be our front line. Meanwhile, we have our young spears.
So the special thing about the Myrmidon units is this is one of the very few units in the game who have the Unbreakable trait, which means that no matter how much damage they take, they will not run away. They are Achilles' most loyal soldiers. So it's really smart to try and utilize them at the core of your army so that you just make sure that they don't break that core fast.
So I'm gonna be honest. We have very little tall grass here. When I was practicing, I was actually on the other side, which is proving to be a problem for me right now.
Okay,
but
so when it comes to the terrains, we didn't really want to put them in places that would be illogical or would just make no sense for them to be there. They would be there on most of the maps where it makes sense. And they're just something that you can try and utilize if you can. They're not something that you must use in order to win.
But they are very useful.
When you use them correctly, you can see how much impact they can have on the battle.
I can go over what I would have done if I was on the other side. So if I was on the other side, I would not be starting up here because that's crazy, because we have all this tall grass here. So I would instead set up my line down here, have some light units hiding in the tall grass here. If someone comes over here, we can swarm them with a bunch of ranged attacks. They will fall like dominoes. And then when you've drawn the main army over here, you grab your guys that are standing around in the tall grass, flank around, and then hit them in the back. Now, I forgot if you said it, but it's only light units that can hide in tall grass, correct?
Usually, with some few exceptions of some elite units, but I don't think we have any of those here.
No.
So usually it's only light units. You can see it in their trait icons in the unit info panel on the left, where you have this little icon with the eye above the green grass in front of them, just below there. Yeah, where you can see where this unit can actually hide.
Fantastic. So we can look around. Spearfighting Myrmidons.
For example, this one can hide only in forests, but it can't hide in tall grass.
So this one can also hide in forests. Can Achilles hide? He could hide, but I feel like that's
in
the coward's
forests,
way.
yes.
Yeah, in forests.
It doesn't mean that he is hiding. He is just waiting there for an ambush.
That's true. Okay, let's see. So we have some light guys here. They won't be slowed down by the mud. So I think I'm gonna place them sort of here on the side, try and run them through the mud over here. Meanwhile, we have our champions of Pythia and our Pythian spears. They're gonna try and go in here. Our Myrmidons and our Myrmidons are gonna charge right over the hill, while our pelagic Thessalians are gonna go around here, and then we have our Thessalian Marines and young spears.
Okay, so for the pelagic Thessalians, if you notice, they have the stalking trait, so you can use them somewhere on the side of the battlefield. Not these ones, I believe the other ones that you're selecting.
Let's see, pelagic. Where were they?
Yeah, so it was the Thessalian Marines. I mean, the name's so
Oh,
close.
the
So
same. Yeah.
yeah, so they
There we
have the
go.
stalking trick,
Ah,
which can be quite useful because they can move hidden without enemies seeing them,
fantastic.
and this can be even more powerful than just hiding in tall grass. Even though they can also hide in tall grass, but they can actually move away from it even without being seen. It's a
Awesome.
really great unit to use and flank the enemy.
Yeah. So we can see that the pelagic Thessalians um, also have stock. This guy and this guy.
Yes.
So maybe we'll put all of them on this side. Try and take them
Yeah,
around that
as I
way.
said, Achilles' roster, it really requires you to plan the battles very strategically
Mm.
because his units are not really that strong when it comes to one-on-one combat, with
Yeah.
some exceptions. Because as I said, the Myrmidons, they're unbreakable, and even though they're not as strong and tough as some as Hector's unit, they will not break in the battle. But
Ooh.
utilizing them in the way of trying to flank with the pelagic Thessalians and the Thessalian Marines uh, will make a huge impact on the battle.
Okay, so Hector went for a slightly different setup this time. It's good to know. Um, we will take these people around this side. They will have these archers or these bowmen coming with them. And then we also have our chariots.
Yeah, I believe that this time you deployed your units slightly forward,
Mm.
and Hector's AI decided that it can't raise your units up to the hill, and
Ah,
it will not try to do that. So he just tried to remain back.
okay. Um, let's see. Yeah, we're
So
gonna
being
check in.
fired upon by archers from range is not that devastating if
No.
the units has shields, because shields can offer a lot of protection from missile weapons, and they will not be taking too much damage from those archers, and most of the time they will be wasting their ammunition. So when you try and skirmish in with ranged units, you should always try to prioritize units without shields or shooting at units that are turning away from your archers.
Mm. Okay. Let's get our guys in behind here. While our Pythian spears are taking
Make
care of the
sure you're
chariot.
utilizing Achilles with his Myrmidons as well, because right
Okay.
now he's just idling behind.
Yeah.
Heroes, like most generals in other Total War games, will provide an buff aura around them to their units. So even though losing them can be a huge impact to the morale of your troops, and you
Yeah.
should always make sure that you don't lose your heroes, they are best utilized in the midst of combat, because
Mm.
then they will be getting that rage which fuels their abilities, and they are quite useful at it, and they will be providing all those buffs to the allied units and so on.
Fantastic. So let's see. Um, the heavy Trojan spearmen are not unflankable. Unfortunately, we're being flanked here by the heavy shock spear, so I'm gonna pull these guys away and try and see if we can have our Aeginian javelin men do some damage here. Meanwhile, you chase there. You come in from behind. Achilles,
Make sure your
start
chariots
cleaving.
are trying to attack the archers, because right now they're idling.
Yeah. I think people don't tend to know about streaming is that it's very hard to actually play the game and also talk at the same time.
Yeah, it can be
or,
challenging.
or try, sorry,
So the
it's
units
very
you're
easy to.
trying to fight here are very slow, so you make sure you
Mm,
don't engage them with the light units and
yeah.
just run around them.
Let's see. Good. Let's pull out. I wanted you to use your special. You pull back. You pull back. You just attack. Good. The chariots are attacking the archers. What is Achilles doing? Nope, you're not going to Divine Challenge. We're going to do Terrify on the Minotaur. Reduce his defense.
Usually,
Was that a bad choice?
well, usually the Terrify not only reduces defense, but it also reduces morale of units. So sometimes it's better used against a unit that has already slightly low on morale, like some of his
Yeah.
spearmen there were. And this might have had a huge effect. So as you can see here, Hector's heavy units are stuck in the mud, so that's why you're able to
Yeah.
fight them there relatively easily with O units. Just make sure that you don't engage them when you don't have to.
See if I can trick him to turn around. Okay. So we actually have our Aristea here.
Yeah, so the Aristea is a new type of ability that we have for heroes. Every hero has their Aristea ability, and it will accumulate over time as you use abilities and you fight in the battle. It will not be available to you in every battle because it requires a lot of fighting and killing to go all around. But once used, it will make your hero really powerful for some time and make his abilities much much cheaper. So you can really spam a lot of his abilities and use them to devastate the enemies as much as you can.
Come on, Achilles, get out of there.
As you see here, he is already getting really low on health.
Yeah.
You were winning the fights on the side, but the core battle here at the center was proving quite problematic.
It's micromanaging, my biggest enemy. See if I can get Achilles out of here. I swear to God, I was winning yesterday. It's performance anxiety, I suppose. As soon as you do it on stream, you're screwed. You know? It's always great until you try to do it on stream. Alright, seems Achilles has managed to get out of there. He's gonna just chill for a bit over here. Oh, go take out the spear fighters. Those chariots need to go after those guys. And
yeah, chariots can be a very strong unit, but they need to choose their targets carefully as well, because at this point of time they're just not strong enough to charge into heavy units head on. So you have to be careful about which targets you pick with them.
Yeah. Someone saying, don't lie to us. Yesterday you played on easy. No, I always play on hard, even when I shouldn't be. It's actually very dumb of me to play on hard, because I really should be not playing on easy. Easy would make for bad videos, but usually when I play make videos, I play on normal, but I was playing on hard yesterday. Okay. So because of our Aristea, which did heal us up a little bit, we were able to get out of there with Achilles.
Yeah, but your units are routing now, so...
yeah, alright. One more time. Damn it. Or, I'm actually gonna let the chat choose. Should I try this again and make a proper chance of winning? Shut up and try and figure out what I should be doing instead of talking, or should I move over and play Hector instead? I'll let the chat choose. Let's see. Alvaro El Maldonado says try again. Revenant says Hector. Chief Winnetou says play Hector. Huffpuff wants me to play again. It seems mostly Hector. People want me to play Hector. And then they want me to nerf Hector. Well, unfortunately, I can't do that.
It's gonna be funny if you play Hector and lose again now.
It's gonna happen. Have you seen how I play? I'm absolutely garbage. Alright, let me just set up the battle. And then we'll get going. Oh, actually, my losses were 906 to 902. This is not too bad when I gave up. Alright. We're not ready to show you off the battle interface yet, so that's why I switched over to the holding screen. Because I want to remind everyone, this is a game in development. We're still working on it. Milcho and the team he's part of, all the way over in Bulgaria, are working very hard on it every day to make sure that it's the best possible game when it releases. Which is why we've seen a lot of updates, and we have something coming eventually to show off all the updates that have been a part of this journey that we've been on over the last. When did, you've been working on this for years, right?
It's been a bit over 2 years now, I
Damn,
believe.
I've
So
never
yeah,
worked
it
in.
has been a lot, and it's the first Total War game that we're doing here in the Sophia Studios, standalone Total War game, I
Mm,
mean. So yeah, we are really excited about it and about the release, which is coming soon.
fantastic. Let's see. So I'm gonna give. Oh, another thing I'm not used to is building armies where I don't have unlimited funds.
Well,
Because
you
when I'm
can
making
give yourself
videos, I just
unlimited funds, I guess.
I could, but should I? What do you think, Milcha? Should I just
I don't
unlimited
know.
funds this? Let's unlimited funds this. Yeah. All right.
Unlimited funds means more units, and more units require more micromanagement
That's
and
a very
more
good
tactical
point.
decisions.
Um, but it also means that I could give Achilles some centaurs. I don't know if we want to show off centaurs, but I think we should.
Yeah, we
Uh,
didn't talk much about the mythic units
yeah.
in the battle so
Um,
far.
so
We
we
only
can.
had one mythic unit in this battle, I believe.
Mm,
It was the Minotaur on Hector's side. And especially when it comes to the Minotaur, you really need to have a plan when you're facing him about
yeah.
how you're going to deal with him, because he's really a beast of a man and is really powerful and can do devastating damage to your units. So you have to have a plan in your head about how you're going to deal with him. Are you going to like send the elite Myrmidons and try to take him down fast, or just try to kite him around with some uh, less expensive units and try to keep him out of the battle, or
Yeah.
just try and skirmish him with javelins and archers from afar? There's always different possibilities about how to handle each situation, but you really need to have a plan for that.
Yeah. I obviously didn't have a plan, and therefore, I mean, he absolutely wrecked me. That's the thing. So I saw someone ask, are to make an analogy to another Total War game, are sorry, I'm gonna cough. I swear it's not COVID. I'm just very parched. So someone asked, are the mythic units in Troy like heroes in Warhammer? And I know the answer is no, but would you please explain to me
No,
why it's
so
no?
no, the we don't have a unit that's a type like the heroes in Warhammer. We do have agents and other heroes around the campaign map, but this is a totally different things. And even though agents can be embedded into armies, they don't really fight on the battlefield, because agents are usually something like spies or
Mm,
priestesses, envoys, and so on. So the mythic units, they're just regular type of units. They come in different forms. Like the Minotaur, he is a unique type of unit. You can't have two Minotaurs in the same campaign,
mm,
and he is a single entity unit. But most of the other mythic units are part of a group. They're usually about 50 or 100 entities inside a unit. For example, like with the Centaur, you will see that it's not just one Centaur, but it's I believe
yeah,
there are about 60 uh, guys on horses.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, we do have different types of mythic units, and the mythic units themselves, they're really quite optional. Usually players can have to go out of their way in order to recruit them during campaign. You have to find certain regions or interact with the divine will system, which is the sort of remake we're doing to the religious system for Troy,
mm,
in order to get them. And they're not easy to get as it is. and usually they do offer a lot of tactical variety when it comes to battles
Yeah.
when using them, because they're not just strong units with better stats, but usually they have some sort of abilities which make them stand out and make them uh, give you different options on the battlefield. Like for an example, in a game where most of the fighting is done by infantry, having centaurs who are a type of cavalry can give you really interesting tactical options. And with the minotaur, as I said in the before that, you really have to, because he's just so strong and has some abilities that allow him to plow through enemy ranks and lower their morale. You really need to think of a way to deal with him either fast or kite him around and so on, because otherwise he's just going to be devastating your army.
Yeah. Um, I can give some behind the scenes info here. So if you watch the PC Gamer Show, there was an Odysseus video that I made. Patting myself on the shoulder. Odysseus sieges Troy in 3 ways, I think was the working name on that video. I played about, I want to say like 120 or 160 turns in that campaign. Mostly because I had fun and forgot what I was doing. Uh, but I only ended up with 2 types of mythic units. I had a Minotaur and I think I had Giants, which the Giants can be seen in that trailer.
Yeah.
um, Although I think they might. No, they're on Odysseus' side. And that's because I went out of my way to get both of those. I never met any mythic units any other way. So if you don't want to have mythic units in your game, you don't have to. You'll get a little pop-up that says, I forget what it says exactly, but it's like, oh, there are amazing people here, and then you don't have to do anything. All right, back to the battle. Okay, so
Okay.
now we are in danger of these, or of this, but I think Achilles might come at me. So I'm gonna try and set up a staunch line of spears here. We got some guards of Troy. Let's make that a
The
little
guards
bit
of Troy are
thicker.
best utilized in the middle.
Yeah, I'm gonna put these guys here. Then we got some guards of Troy here. Super. They're heavy. They're chargers. They're armored. We got some Trojan defenders. We got more champions of Troy. Oh, those are guards of Troy. Sorry, those are champions of Troy. Got some Hector's chosen here. We're gonna
Yeah,
put
the
these.
champions of Troy are the slightly upgraded version of the
Mm,
guards of Troy, so they are going to be a bit more powerful.
yeah,
And
and they can switch
the
weapons.
two tip says that they're good chargers because they have this new weapon switch ability, which allows them to put their shields on their back and use their spears two-handed. So this will greatly increase their attack. It will make them do a lot more damage, but it will make them slightly faster, but it will reduce their defense and will remove their missile resistance from the front.
Mm,
But it will give them missile resistance from the back. So if they're
yeah.
being shot in the back, it's actually a smart idea to make them put their shields on the back and continue fighting.
Now I didn't look up this earlier. Do we have any unflankable units? We don't.
Yes, the Hector's chosen. You have them right beside Hector here on. They're the
Uh,
medium infantry. Yes, those units.
no, those are
They're the
guards.
type of unit
There we go.
which are immune
There we
to
go.
flanking. What that means is that because whenever a unit is being flanked inside combat, it will gain morale penalties and it will get defense penalties for the duration of while it's flanked, and those penalties can really stack up. And you have to really make sure that your flanks are secure, that you're moving your units in a line and
Mm,
making them protect each other and so on. Hector's chosen are an exception where they have this ability to turn around quickly and fight on multiple sides, so they are immune to flanking. And what that means is that even though they will still receive morale penalties for being surrounded, they will not receive any penalties to defense. when being
Yeah.
surrounded by more units. So you can still route them and make them run away if you damage them enough or have them flanked around, but they will never get penalties to their defense skill.
Indeed. Now, what would happen? And I know, chat, I know the answer to this question, but I'm gonna ask it anyway because you don't. What would happen if I were say, I mean, let's say that I'm Achilles. I'm coming in here. I'm attacking from the front. I'm not flanking because these guys are immune to flanking. But instead, I take my Aeginian spearmen around the back and start shoot or throwing my spears into these guys' backs. What would happen? Because I'm flanking them then, but I'm using
Well,
a ranged weapon.
when you're using a ranged weapon, they will still be flanked because the the javelins will be hitting them from behind. They will be having no bonuses from their shields, which they usually have, and they will be taking the damage, and they will be taking the morale penalties both for being flanked and for being shot in the back, which can stack up, and it can really be painful for you. So you have to
Yeah.
make sure that you somehow keep the javelins away from their backs. To do that, you can use some of the faster units or your chariots, for example, or use your own javelins or bring other ranged units to make sure you're not being shot in the back.
So before we
Trying
start,
to shoot your enemy in the back
yeah.
and trying to protect yourself from being shot in the back is some of the most important things in this game.
So here we have the centaurs.
Yeah, these are the centaurs. As you can see, they're not really half man, half horse,
No.
because we are trying to see what the truth might have been behind the myths. And we have them that we believe that at the time, because people were not really used riding horses, especially into battle, this is something that's not typical for this period at all. There might have been a tribe or something that were so in tune with their horse that people would consider them to be one with their horse, from which the myth comes.
Mm.
And yeah, like the conquistadors were for the Native Americans when they first invaded the continent and discovered the
Yeah.
continent. They were not seeing horses before. At first they thought that this was just one being rather than a person on a horse. So now that Achilles has one unit of centaurs, I believe,
Uh, Two. He also
or
has
is it
centaur
probably
elders,
two?
which are ranged.
Yeah, they're ranged, so they will probably not try to flank you, but you have to make sure that it doesn't outflank you. Your
Yeah.
chariots will be in a bad spot there. You
Yeah.
probably want to try and keep
As
them out of there.
always, I tend to look at one point of the battlefield and then completely forget about the other part. Um, let's pull these guys back. Okay. We also have another type of range unit here, which we didn't see before, which are the slingers, which I think are gonna pretty much be the primary way you'll see, at least early game.
And from what I see, you've put Achilles to be on a chariot as well.
That might have been an autocomplete kind of thing. Yeah, apparently I gave Achilles a chariot. That's cool. Um,
Yeah, so
whoops.
here, once you manage to damage his chariot enough,
Yeah.
he will jump out of the chariot and continue fighting on foot.
Oh my god. We Yep, there we
Yeah,
go. He fell out. There we go. And we can see that his health wasn't, minuscule as it looked. It was just.
this is the health of the chariot
Mm,
that you would be fighting in first.
I'm gonna send in
Though
Hector here
Achilles
too.
will take some damage when he falls off the chariot in
Yeah.
that way. So
Right. Let's line you up more properly. You guys go there. You go for that guy. Where are you? Come back, please.
your chariots are desperately trying to run away. Where you
Look,
put them.
to be fair, keeping all of those units all over there, I'm kind of okay
Yeah,
with their
it is.
contribution. It's
Yeah,
not bad.
that's pretty useful. Yes.
All right, let's have you fire over there. Unfortunately, these guys are not dealing well with his Myrmidon swordman. I think they might have taken some
Yeah, you
damage to
need to
get back.
focus the Myrmidons as fast as you can because they are some of the toughest units to put down.
Mm.
And they will not rout. You really need to kill them. They're
Yeah,
one of the very few units in the game that have this ability because they're just so loyal to Achilles. And again, you really need to have a plan about how you're going to deal with the threats that
yeah.
Achilles is presenting you with.
I'm gonna be honest.
Make
A lot
sure
of
you,
this.
you utilize the Minotaur's abilities as well
Oh yeah, I
because they
forgot
can be
abilities.
quite powerful.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
Savage Roar will lower the morale of enemies around the Minotaur. So when he
perfect.
roars, it's really great
Um,
for your battles. The other ability, the Bull Rush, is best used before the charge because it will
yeah.
allow your Minotaur to gain a lot more momentum and mass and run straight through enemy units and
Let's.
knock them down. He won't be doing much damage to them as he runs through them, but just being able to knock them down for a bit and disrupt their lines can be quite helpful at times.
Let's try it here. Uh, I think I used it wrong. Whoops. There's a lot of skill that you kind of need with this game, and I am unfortunately somewhat lacking in that department. Um, I was not hired for my gaming abilities, as is a great shock to many people. Um, are we on the max unit size? It probably doesn't help that I'm looking over to chat every
No,
now and then.
this isn't the max unit size. I
Uh,
believe this is the default unit size, but you can
hang
get,
on
I
a moment.
think, 50% more than this.
Whoops, that was the wrong thing. I'm not sure what I showed off though. Hang on a moment. I'm gonna check the settings. Because I believe I am on the highest unit size, yes. Yes, I am.
I'm pretty sure you're not on the
Alright.
highest unit size. We do
Um,
have the extreme unit size in which
oh yeah, no, I am on
some
the
of your
second highest.
units,
Yeah, that's a
yeah,
very good point. I am on, what is Ultra, I think it's called.
yeah,
There we go, that one's done. The Myrmidons are almost dead. Let's send our renowned archers to... Actually, you go and shoot at those archers.
they're almost dead as well.
It's
You
perfect.
have to make sure you deal with Achilles himself. You are.
Hmm. Let's send in Hector. Um, I'm gonna make him unbreakable and immortal, and then send him in against Achilles.
Yeah, he has this ability called Heraclean Resolve, which will make him immortal little, for a little bit, but probably just enough to.
Yeah. I'm also gonna try and send him in
And
and
when
do
it
some
comes to
healing.
campaign, you will have this skill tree, which is unique for every epic hero,
Mm.
where you need to choose which abilities to upgrade, which abilities to get. Every hero will start with only one ability at level 1, but as you play the game, get him stronger, they will get more and more abilities depending on what you choose. You might
Yeah.
get some skills for his campaign, like increased movement speed and so on, but you might also gain battle abilities. It's all up to the player.
And it's very different to skill trees that I've seen in other Total War games. I'd say.
Yeah, they are different. They're unique for Total War Troy. And usually choosing one ability will make it so that you can't really use another ability, and
Mm.
sometimes you have to make choices about which ability to use and which not.
So it's all trade-offs. You
So
choose
yeah,
one
it's
or
all
the other.
trade-offs, and so it might vary when you start playing the game and see how things are going. You might have different abilities with your hero and so on.
Mm. Hector is out of control. Um, what do you think? Am I losing?
Well, It looks a bit like it because your archers are healthy, but they're running out of ammo.
Yeah,
You have some of the champions of Troy which are still fighting, but Achilles has challenged Hector to a duel. You can probably zoom in and see how
yeah.
he fares because I don't think he's faring well against
No,
Achilles.
I think.
Mm,
Oh, got a stab there,
nope.
and dead.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be very good for Hector
Oh,
and his army because you will be getting those morale penalties right
indeed.
now. And even though Hector's champions and so on are really, really tough, they not sure they can recover from this.
Hmm. Yeah. Um. Let's see. What time is it? Do you have time to do another battle, Milcho?
Yeah, I do have time. I also can answer any other questions that the chat might have and
Yeah.
so on.
All
So
right. So
if you have,
I'm conceding that battle. I lost. I'm gonna set up one that I'm more familiar with, and then it's still gonna be
okay,
Achilles, but I'm gonna set up a battle that I will be more familiar with that I've won before. Okay.
okay.
Um.
It's going to be nice to see you win at least one battle.
Yay.
So
Well, you say that now.
this one was pretty close. If we were talking class and paying more
Yeah.
attention on the battle itself, it might have been gone in a different way.
Indeed. So um, this question you can't answer, but I can. Rexstorm asks, "Can we see a siege battle?" And the answer to that is yes. You can. Not today, but maybe next week. There will be a certain very famous siege coming that we will be showing with a certain, let's call him a genius. And if you can figure out who I'm talking about, good for you. All right, let's see. Let's set up that, level that guy up, and we'll level that guy up. Perfect. And I'm not gonna fight Achilles versus Achilles because that seems stupid. Gonna have Hector. I'm not gonna give him a Minotaur this time. The Minotaur has screwed me every time. I think one of my problems is that I am notoriously bad with cavalry.
Well, you don't really have too much cavalry here
Yeah,
in this Total War, but you have to make sure that you're
chariots.
utilizing your light and medium infantry probably in a way like you would usually do with cavalry.
Yeah.
The light infantry is extremely fast, and you really have to try and utilize that by even by just running around the enemy and trying to flank him from the back will give all your units a lot of bonuses, and it will lower the morale of the enemy. It will lower their defense when they're fighting both of your units. So it's really, really important to do that,
Oh, we're apparently getting
especially when
a
you're playing with Achilles' roster.
we're apparently getting a raid on YouTube from Legend of Total War. So thank you for that, and welcome to everyone. We're doing our final battle here, which is going to be Achilles versus Hector. But this time, I'm not going to lose because guess what? I'm on the other side. So I'm going to be able to utilize those tactics that I talked about earlier. Let me just pull up the thing there. All right, so this is not how I'm going to set things up. I'm just doing things to start with. Cool. So we have these patches of tall grass here. So I'm going to make sure to take our javelin men, put them there. Probably also our Thessalian Marines. And then I'm going to try and get Hector to come over here. And I'm going to take all of my units around back and start flanking. How does that sound?
You just have to make sure that he is seeing at least some of your units and
Oh,
knows
yeah.
where they are, because otherwise he's going to start searching around the map for where your units might be hiding. So
Oh,
and
mate, he's
fighting
gonna
them,
see me.
finding them in the wrong moment.
I'm gonna be standing outside with a boombox, and yelling Hector, like in the trailer, except more boombox. Okay, so let's see. How do I want to put this? I'm gonna... Genian runners have hide. I had... You have stock.
Yeah, the pelagic Thessalians and the Thessalian Marines have the
Yeah.
stalking ability. You can
So I'm
put
gonna
them
put
some on the
these
side,
guys
and they're
over
best
here.
utilized on the charge. As you can see, their charge bonus is pretty big, and it lasts for about 20 seconds after they charge. So it's going to be a huge impact to the battle
Fantastic.
if you
Yeah.
manage to do a proper rare charge with them.
So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep them over here, and then I'm gonna try and come in and flank from that end, while these guys come in and flank from that end, and then these boys are gonna be fantastic over here. Now, I said I was gonna win, which means that I'm gonna lose, but let's hope I don't. Okay. I don't want to put anyone too close to here because the AI tends to run over this end if I'm too close to here.
Yeah, the AI will also try to flank you in
Yeah.
a way if he comes at you. So
I'm gonna...
it is quite possible that he tries to move around that ridge there and encounter your hidden units before.
We'll see. If he does, we have a bunch of javelin men that can try and take him out.
Yeah, fortunately your units are quite fast, so
Mm.
even if Hector encounters you, you can try and run away.
So Flamix says, can't wait to see what the Cyclops and Gorgon looks like. Well, if you go to the Total War subreddit, the Cyclops is very prominent in many posts. I don't know if you've seen the Milcho.
Oh yes, I have.
I'm gonna be honest, I think they're very funny.
Yeah, I believe we also showed the Gorgon in one of the campaign trailers. Because the Gorgon is one of the new thing that we have that it's called Epic Agents. She is not actually on the battlefield. She doesn't fight in battles, but she is an agent of sorts on the campaign with unique actions. And you will probably be seeing more of that soon.
Okay. Question is, are these going to be revealed before I can use them to flank? These
Well,
guys
you
are also
see,
definitely
when you
coming
mouse
out.
over them, you see if they're hidden or not. So,
Oh yeah, no, they're
currently
hidden right
hidden,
now.
And
Question
you will
is,
get a message if they are revealed.
yeah.
They might be a bit too close for comfort. Probably try and put them back a bit,
Yeah.
or more to the left. They have stock, so they can move without being seen.
Let's hope. Let's hope. That's all we can
at
do.
least from what it appears that Hector will not be trying to move there on your right flank.
I did see some units here. It's possible that they're just not visible.
Yeah, it's possible that you're just not seeing them right now.
Yeah, the way these slingers are moving over here, they're definitely coming around this side.
He's moving them up on the hill.
Let's see. We have...
If he's shooting at shielded units, it's okay. Those are not shielded, so you should probably move them back.
Gonna do that
because shields really provide a lot of missile block chance in Total War Troy. It's more than it is in other Total War games. You have to be careful about that. And yeah, he is going for a flank, so you should probably...
I'm gonna wait a little bit, then I'm gonna take these guys in here. I think it's time we rushed.
It appears he didn't spot your pelagic Thessalians, so you have to...
Yep. Meanwhile,
you
these
can
guys
move them as well.
There we go. Oh, those slingers. Really annoying. Okay. You, come in from the behind. Let's take out their skirmishers and javelin men. Meanwhile, let's see, we got 200 spear infantry here. Perfect. Lose your javelins.
Those don't have shields, so your javelins are really well utilized there.
That's perfect. Look at that damage they're
Just
taking.
make sure they do not get charged.
Yeah, that's fine. They're
Yes.
set to retreat. I forget what
Oh,
it's called. It's skirmish, right?
yeah,
Okay. You go
and your
there, you
pelagic
go there.
silence can really devastate his archers here this time.
Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna send you there instead because you're not doing much damage against the champions of Troy. Meanwhile, yeah.
When it comes to the champions of Troy, you have to make sure that you flank them in a way, because if you try to take them on head on
Oh yeah,
without any support units, they're one of the toughest units in the game.
it's gonna be
Probably
terrible.
the toughest. I don't think there is another unit which is tougher in one versus one combat than the champions of Troy.
I'm gonna lose these Thessalian Marines, but I'm okay with that. Let's see.
And where is Achilles? What is he doing? I'm not sure you're
Achilles
utilizing him.
is
Yeah,
just standing
he's
here.
just standing.
It's
Yeah,
fine.
you have to make sure he fights, because heroes
No, no.
in War
See,
Troy, they're not as powerful as they are in Three Kingdoms or
no.
Warhammer, but they can still bring a lot of threats to the battlefield.
See, here's my master plan. I'm going in and I'm taking on Hector right now. Divine challenge. Fight me, you coward. Let's you go there. Let's see. Let's
Instead
fire
of
in
chasing
there.
those javelin mans at the back with your pelagic assailants, they're better utilized if you just charge them in the back of those units here that are fighting your front line, because this will make them flank them, especially those champions of Troy. Yeah,
Yeah,
and this will give your units a much better fighting chance. Those javelins there will not be doing much, as there are not too many of them left.
yeah, that's true. Well, and they're broke. Perfect.
Yeah, and they're shattered. So
Yeah, that's true. They're not broke, they're shattered. Although that would be hilarious if their economic status played into the game. It would be a very strange game, I think. Okay, let's see. Let's go into a cleave. Look at this. This is what I wanted. Hector is crumbling right now.
well, Achilles
He's
is the
using...
best dueler in the game.
Oh yeah,
And Hector, even though Hector is the second best, he's usually finding it hard to stand toe to toe with Achilles.
absolutely. Yeah,
And now you can leave just one of those javelin units to make sure to chase off the archers, and use the other javelins to fire at the champions of Troy's back, and so
yeah,
on, to make sure you are getting those flanking bonuses and so on. They are really, really important.
perfect. So here we can see a much better situation for me, I think. I am sort of
You're
crumbling...
still slightly losing the left flank.
Yeah. Let's see if we can't help that with some range support. Since we're getting... Well, we were getting range support on this side. Meanwhile, let's terrify... Who has... You have a lot of morale.
The unit that is right beside Hector is low on morale, and
Oh, yeah. Let's do that.
yeah,
Perfect. Meanwhile, let's get more rage.
you almost broke them.
I'm gonna activate my Aristea to try and gain some HP back.
Yeah, make sure you utilize your abilities now, because they will be having a lot of short cooldowns, and they are much more powerful when you're using the Aristea.
Yeah. We're cleaving. So we're kind of
You
not
can make
doing
sure
great.
and challenge Hector again to make sure he doesn't
Oh,
run
yeah.
away, because
That's
he
great.
is pretty close to dying.
It's perfect. Yeah. We're challenging him during Aristea. It's perfect. He's a chump, and he's dead.
You can. You killed him? Okay, I
Yeah.
was just about to say that you can zoom in on the fight, because
No,
Achilles
he's
is
not.
probably winning
No, he's
that
dead.
one.
That's Hector's chosen. Perfect. Yeah, sorry I missed that. I was, you know...
It's fine
fighting
as
a
long as
battle.
he's dead.
Exactly. That's the most
The
important
battle
part.
has still not been won.
No.
As you see, they have suffered a lot of morale penalties. Even
Hmm.
Hector's chosen, who are usually immune to flanking and so on, they are being quite shaken by Hector's death.
Yeah.
So now is the time to push on and just finish them off.
See, guys, even I could kill Hector. No, that sounds like I'm giving crap to our influencers, which I'm not. They're great people, um, but on hard difficulty, which is not the same hard difficulty as the one that we were giving out to influencers and press a while back. This is a newer version of the
Yes,
game.
even though this is the same map, this is not exactly
Oh yeah,
the same battle. We've
it's
been
not the same
doing
build.
some changes to the battles. We've been nerfing some of the units that we thought were pretty strong and were never running away and so on.
Mm.
And there have been some design balancing changes in future patches. So yeah, it is slightly different.
I'm gonna
I
be
believe now Achilles is a bit stronger than Hector as it was in the preview battle.
yeah.
So it is
I'm gonna
different.
be perfectly honest. The entire reason we did the stream was because I wanted to show that I could kill Hector.
And you just have to make sure the last unit routes there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there you go.
All
There's
right, come
more?
on.
Are there
Yeah,
some Hector's chosen right here chasing off some units?
there are some, you know, non-cowards. What do you call them? Some brave men, some staunch men still holding out. It's fine. I'm gonna be winning. Let's terrify this unit. Run away, little girl. Run away. There we go.
Yeah, they're shattered.
Let's see. I think there might be. Yeah, this guy still. Run.
Their
Still
morale
around.
is at the brink. Yeah, they shattered as well.
There we go.
That's it.
Victory! Woo! I won. Look, Mom, I can win a
Hey.
battle. Here's the thing.
And I
We
do
lost a
believe
lot-
it's going to be a Cadmian victory.
Yeah, exactly. Here's the thing. Here's the thing about Academy and victory. It's still a victory.
Yeah. And we
Yeah,
couldn't
first
really
strike,
use the term Pyrrhic victory because
Yeah,
at the
Pyrrhus-
time that was
Pyrrhus
that
wouldn't be
battle had
born
not
for another,
happened yet.
what, 1,000 years? Something like that?
Well, not 1,000, but
when was
for
Pyrrhus?
a couple of hundred, more than a couple of hundred.
Oops. I absolutely wrote Pyrrhus on my gameplay PC. Let's see, Pyrrhus. Pyrrhus lived in 319 BC. And what was Troy? What
It's
approximate?
It's in the 13th century BC. So
So about 1,000 years.
yeah, as I said, almost 2,000 years.
Yeah. So, hey. Perfect. So, let's see if we have some more questions in chat before we finish off for today. A win's a win. Exactly, Lee. You know what's up. Especially when you're doing a custom battle. I think we've said how many factions there will be, right?
Yeah, there are going to be 8 playable factions.
For Aegean.
Four for each side. Yeah, 4 for the Achaeans.
Yeah.
Which we call the Danans, which is somewhat of a term that encompasses all the different tribes that live there at the time, and the Trojans on the other side.
Look at this man. So
You
angry.
actually have him with his epic armor here.
Yeah.
This armor is usually obtained after you complete some of the quests into the campaign.
Mm.
I'm not sure if you were supposed to be using this Achilles in this fight, but
Well,
he still managed to defeat Hector, so that's a good thing.
hey, I didn't even have a chariot.
Yeah, and you didn't let him be on the chariot this time.
Yeah, exactly. We've got Gargantian asking about the Amazon DLC pack that we announced a couple of weeks ago. I think on the same day as the announcement of our Epic partnership. We're going to be talking about the Amazons closer to release.
Yeah, we were going to be talk about them soon as well.
Let's see. So we have some questions here in chat because people aren't fully clear on what the thing about the game being free is. So the game is launching on the Epic Store on August. I should have this in my head. I think I know,
August
but
13th.
that was about what I was about to say. But thank you. Um, I wasn't sure. August 13th, the game will launch on the Epic Game Store. For 24 hours after it launches, you can go to the Epic Game Store and you can get the game for free. And then in 2021, we will release the game on other platforms, primarily Steam. If we pick up any other platforms during that time, we'll release those then. But that is a very big if. I don't know anything about that. We've committed to Steam in 2021, but this year on August 13th, we're releasing it on the Epic Store, and you can get it for free in the first 24 hours.
Yeah, and if you get it in those first 24 hours, it will be yours forever.
Yeah.
So you can play it forever. You don't have to play it right away if you don't want to or anything.
I don't know if I'm allowed to answer this, but I'm going to answer it anyway. Will there be a UI scaler? And the answer is yes. Very similar to the way Warhammer works.
There is a UI scaler in the options.
I feel like it's safe to say that. I feel like I'm not going to have someone yell
every
at
Total
me.
War game, recent Total War game has had it.
Yeah.
So it's only logical that we have it in Total War Troy as well. Not sure which one was the first that
I know at least Warhammer.
Well, Warhammer for sure. I think 1-2 had it as well, and maybe Shogun 2 before that. So
let's see if we have any more questions. Any plans for a Total War Arena revival? That's not really about this game, but we have a partnership going right now. You can head over to, I think, TotalWar.com, or if not, the Total War Arena subreddit will have information. Let's see. When can we see the main menu? In a couple of weeks. We're going to be doing a couple of weeks of battle streams. Next week, we might as well announce it right now. Next week, do you know what we're doing, Milcho?
I'm pretty sure we're doing a certain siege battle.
Yes, we're doing Odysseus versus Paris. So we're going to be showing a siege battle with Odysseus. We're probably not going to show one siege battle. We're going to show several. Let's see. How have you been? It's been a while since I've last seen you. How are you doing, Milcho?
Doing well. Thank you.
I had a
Pretty
good time
excited, getting closer and closer for the release. So.
Yeah. Let's see. We have people asking about DLCs, and that will be something we talk about after the game releases. How will mod support work when we release the game on August 13th?
Well, I believe the Epic Store are doing their best to make sure that they integrate the mod support feature for their store. If it doesn't happen until the release of the game, the mods can be done in the old-fashioned way, prior Steam Workshop. So we still have, you can still mod the game. It's just not going to be as easy, probably, until the Epic Store gets that feature in there. And they are really saying that they're working on it, and they really want it, not just for Total War, but for a bunch of other games as well. So we hope that we can get modding into the game as soon as possible, because we know that modding is a huge part of the Total War experience.
Absolutely.
And it has always been one of the things that we try to make sure that we have.
Something interesting that I don't think a lot of people know about is that if you Google Epic Games Store roadmap, the first hit that you get is a link to a Trello board, which shows you what they're working on and what they've recently shipped and so on. And you can see there that they are currently working on mod support. And of course, we want to be part of that as soon as we can. But until then, post it on a third-party site. There are many mod sites out there. You download it, you put it into folders. The way we used to do it, old school. Will there be a Trojan horse? Well, Amr, I suggest you go and check out our Odysseus video on our YouTube channel, because there will not be a Trojan horse. There will be 3.
Yeah, we were really thinking hard about how to depict the Trojan horse in this game, and at the end we decided there are just a couple of or three different plausible explanations to what the Trojan horse might have been. So we made sure we include every one of them in the
Mm,
game, and you might experience the siege of Troy in very different ways in different scenarios if
yeah.
you get to have one of those different Trojan horses.
Mm. All right, so I think that's where we will leave off for today. Thank you all for watching. Milcho, thank you for coming. It's been a
And
blast.
thank you.
I had a
Yeah,
ton
I'm
of fun.
happy you managed to kill Hector in the end.
I, I'm gonna be honest, a little bit afraid of that one. I thought I was gonna lose.
Yeah, it was close at the end, but I can imagine it's pretty hard to play and talk at the same time because
Yeah. Also, when you're not the greatest at the game like myself, things get worse. Anyway, we will be back next. my- What were those words? I don't think they were words. We will be back next week with Odysseus versus Paris. Make sure you tune in. I believe it will be on Wednesday at what did we say? 3 p.m. Yeah, 3 p.m. BST. So I will see you then. Goodbye. Say goodbye, Michelle.
goodbye. See you next time.